15 left.
Mannarino lost his match against Sasha Zverev in the round robin in 3 sets, beat Lorenzo Sonego, the Italian, in straights, and then was manhandled in the quarterfinal singles by Casper Ruud, but France was able to win the women's and the mixed. Casper played an exceptional level of aggressive baseline tennis, Todd. This is a different type of matchup with Hubie.
Well, it was interesting to me to see Casper come out and be that aggressive. I don't always see him play that way, so it was a tactical bit of awareness from him. And when you watch someone, play that way and crunch the opponent, I mean, surely, Hubie would have had a look at that and go, okay, maybe that's what I have to bring today. And that was one of the reasons I asked the question to Craig Boynton to see what they would come out with here, because as you mentioned when we were in Perth watching him, it's not his personality to take on a first strike so often. He'll get a big serve in and then sit back and work the point around. But the way Casper demolished Mannarino was fascinating to me. It's a good opening service game.
Casper also has one of the most lethal and spinning heavy forehands in men's tennis, and Hurkacz has one of the least lethal spinning forehands in men's tennis. It's very flat. It doesn't travel very quickly on average. Neither does Mannarino's, by the way, but that was the big challenge for Adrian, was catching up to the speed and spin and force of that shot. So if Hurkacz comes out ripping the forehand today, that'll be something very different. Very different for Hurkacz to be doing.
Mannarino sending a racket off to the stringer already, which is unusual because he has some of the loosest strings of any player on circuit. It's barely got any tension in it at all. It flings it over the net as opposed to...
Yeah, it's about 18 to 20 pounds, around about 9 to 10 kilos. It's astonishing.
It's almost like a butterfly net.
It's about half half the amount of tension as most players' rackets at best.
Extraordinary.
Love 15.
Great looking forehand there. Curls one in.
That's a typical Mannarino point, manipulating the ball around the court. Just to touch on the tension and how much the equipment has changed in stringing. So go back 30 years ago, 25 years ago, I used to use complete natural gut in my racket, and I would have my strings somewhere around 30 kilos, 68. Around 68, 65 pounds, depending on the conditions. That was a board. What did you use to have yours?
Yeah, almost the same.
And you had an 85 square inch racket, so a smaller headed racket.
Yeah, that racket's closer to 100 square inches that he's using.
And that is a significant difference. So you're saying you're about 26 kilos. He's at 18 kilos?
No, 8 or 9. 18 pounds.
18 pounds.
Pounds, yeah.
There you go. Amazing. We were playing with a plank, and he's playing with a butterfly net.
30 all.
But he controls it well, which is kind of a marvel, I think. It takes real skill to play the way that he does. He's not a strong or tall player, as you can tell. I mean, physically pretty unimposing for tour standards, and yet he's able to. He's going to be making his top 20 debut come Monday on tour. They don't hand that to you. He's earned every bit of it. But it's Hurkacz that's been handed a break-point opportunity on the heels of that unforced error.
30-40.
Impressive to make your top 20 debut at the age of 35. Another part of where the game has changed.
Good energy coming from the French team zone. They realize the importance of this opening singles match, given Iga Swiatek looming in the women's singles just after this one.
Let for serve.
Iga's been playing at the level we've become accustomed to, just dominating her opposition.
Team France.
Must have caught the outside edge. It was very close.
Mannarino has requested another look at this in virtual to see just how close it was. That caught the outside edge, didn't it?
I think part of his improvement curve could be that just to take the ball earlier at times, rather. He doesn't even have to hit. Yes, he doesn't even have to hit the ball harder if he takes it earlier. But his skill, as you've duly noted over the last week, Jim, is really good around the net. He's got great feel there.
Let's reserve.
And I think he's an imposing figure. I can't see why he wouldn't just come forward a little more. Try to break up the rhythm of players like this.
Team France.
Sneaky ace, 185 kilometers an hour. Uses the spin to slide the ball away from his opponent. I see him often standing a lot wider here on this second court to swing his opponent out of court, create angles.
There's that aggressive return off of the second serve that Hurkacz's coach, Craig Boynton, just referred to in the warm-up. Something they're looking to try and implement more of this season to get Hurkacz's breaking of serve numbers up, because he was 71st in men's tennis last year at breaking serve, which is among the lowest. They only measure about 78 players. Reason for that is once you kind of get past 80 in the rankings, those players don't spend a lot of time on tour. They go back and forth between the challenger circuit, minor leagues, and the tour. But of the players that they have enough data on, Hurkacz was among the least successful at breaking serve, and he is number 4 last season at holding serve. So if they can just get him to 50 in the world at breaking serve, that probably translates to him moving up 2 or 3 spots inside the top, from where he is now, already inside the top 10. I think a little more aggression can do it, just more mindfulness.
And this is what we're going to see a lot of today. Mannarino grinding to hold serve, and quick service games from Hurkacz.
1 game on.
And Garcia there, sitting in the team zone. She said she doesn't like sitting there for very long. I'd say she'll be there for just a few games and head back to the locker room. She finds that uses a lot of nervous energy by being in and around the court before her own match. And there's another quick game for Hurkacz, and Team Poland have a 2-1 lead in the opening set here of the semi-finals of the United Cup. Successful United Cup for 2024. Played simultaneously in Perth and Sydney for the group rounds. Semi-finals now being brought together in Sydney for a big weekend of tennis. Team Poland won their group convincingly over in Perth. Hubert Hurkacz comes out. Adrian Mannarino trying to bounce back after a loss to Casper Ruud a couple of nights ago. It's on serve, early stages of this first set.
Ledge for serve.
You know, it's rare these days you see someone almost decelerate their racket head speed. But you see that sometimes with Adrian. Then he just guided that forehand. And I mean, that's the way he plays it. So he knows how to do it, but he didn't hit that one so well. Everyone else seems to accelerate their racket head speed at their racket head at the ball.
I didn't do very well in school at physics, Fitzy, but when your racket is strung that loose, if he swings too fast, the ball's going to still be stuck in the string bed. It's almost like he has to swing a little slower to let the ball go into the string bed and then get slingshotted out of it. No?
Possibly. There's some sort of reverse gravity happening. I don't know physics either, Jim.
What I do know is that he has the shortest take back on his forehand of anyone that I've ever seen in men's tennis. And that's due to the racket strings being so loose he can get away with it.
How much shorter than John McEnroe's?
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. Mac had the racket sort of facing back to the fence. This guy's racket is basically at his waist, kind of pointed to the side of the court. It's a marvel.
Yeah, that's good aggressive tennis, though, from Hurkacz. He's accelerating off the forehand and taking some calculated risks and gets the reward. Let's have a look here, gets position, bang with that forehand into the corner, and that gets the overhead to put away, and he has 2 break points.
You know, when a right-hander plays a lefty, it's a different angle that the ball comes at, and it takes a while to get used to it. I think that against a right-hander, that's an easier shot. I certainly used to find. I think you probably did too, you guys. But when the left-handed spin takes that wide, you've got to be careful going down the line. It'll pull it further outside the tram line.
Got another chance at a second serve here on break point. Let's see if I would suspect he'll be a bit more conservative with this return, having missed the last one.
Hurkacz wears his man down and eventually, on the third opportunity, gets the break of serve.
Team Poland leads 3 games to 1.
I can't help thinking that the change of pace is a good thing from Hurkacz's point of view. You know, to not hit the same ball over and over, replicate it, go with something different, make it a little bit, make it the spin different, make the speed of shot different, makes the opposition generate their own.
15 left. 30 love.
Well, understandable frustration. He's been challenged in his service games both times. Had his serve taken just now and not able to get much going against Hurkacz's awesome serving.
40 love.
Another super fast game from Hurkacz, and he consolidates the break. And Team Poland ahead 4-1 first set.
Team Poland leads 4 games to 1.
A lot of energy in the Team France team zone, trying to get their man up, and a lot of calm over in Team Poland's area. They are just relaxed, letting Hubie do his thing, and he is doing it so well so far. Great first serve percentage. He's hardly missed one, Todd. And he's had his nose in each of Mannarino's service games.
Yeah, he's played some very confident tennis in the early stages of this first set. Mannarino has had his frustrations already. One racket to the stringer, one racket to the tennis gods that was cracked. So he'll want to settle in and try and get a quick service game of his own here if he can. 1-4.
Love.
A great late forehand from Mannarino here. There's that short take back. Racket just kind of by his side, and then boom, he just flicks it, and away it goes. It is a marvel. It's a little effort. That one goes long, but the racket's just doing the work. You watch Hurkacz's forehand in super slow-mo, and I mean, it looks like he's just hitting a fed. It's like he's feeding a ball, right? Doesn't look like he's trying to actually hit an offensive shot. And then when the ball hits the strings, they just trampoline off of them. I would love to actually get my hands on his racket and try and see if I could get the ball anywhere near the court with my shot production. I doubt I could. I think the ball would end up in the fence on the fly. Maybe I can get that cracked racket that he might not use anymore. Could do it under the guise of what Andre Agassi used to do to test his opponent's equipment and see what they might be having. You say, I need it for my charity auction. Oh, that was filthy. Did he try and hit him?
Team Poland leads 4 games.
He could have gone anywhere, put it that way.
I would like, if I was Hurkacz, I'd be pretty upset right now.
Would you?
Yeah, I would be.
I'd get you a grill.
Yo, well, you come at the king, you best not miss.
Thank you.
As they say in The Wire. If you've ever seen that TV show. But anyway, back to the story. So Agassi used to ask his opposition throughout the course of his career if he could, you know, have one of their rackets to auction off at his charity. Wearing him down is Hurkacz. But so Agassi would get the rackets from people like Federer or Nadal, and you know, as he aged on, he wanted to see what his opponents were using, and he would indeed auction them off. But before he did, he would have a good hit with them.
Really?
Oh, he would inspect them. He would see exactly what was happening out there.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? I would never have suspected ulterior motives. Hey? Gee, that was a charity.
The money still went to charity. It was still auctioned off. What happened in transit was Andre's business.
That wasn't encouraged by our own Darren Cahill, was it?
We'll have to ask him when we see him in Melbourne here in a week's time or so. I do know that Darren was the reason that Andre finally changed from the old type of string to the modern string. That was under Darren's guise and urging.
You know, sometimes after a point that Mannarino constructs, you just take it for granted, but that was magnificent how he defended that ball, and in the space of that shot and the next wins the point. It's without looking like he almost looked like he wasn't awake there, still asleep, just caressed a couple back. Interesting talent.
And that is a good sign for Hurkacz when you have Mannarino making some basic unforced errors, because he relies on his consistency. He'll be going to the towel. He'll be adjusting physically to the conditions here in Sydney. A lot more humid than those out west in Perth. But he seems to be handling it quite well. He's got a 5-2 lead in the opening set.
Team Poland leads 5 games to 2.
Well, another adjustment that Hubert Hurkacz has to make here, coming from Perth to Sydney, is this is basically an indoor arena, which shouldn't be too difficult for him to adjust to, Jim.
No, it is slightly more challenging for the overheads here, though. Instead of looking up into the open sky, you are looking at a pretty complicated ceiling with a lot of lattice work, and it's easy for the players to lose track of where the ball is. We've seen some players struggle with that over the years here, so that's an advantage for Mannarino in that little department, but certainly not much breeze down courtside, I wouldn't imagine, Fitzy.
No, it's dead still. It feels a little humid today, actually. And I wonder whether that might have an effect on the balls, make it a bit heavier. Pretty pleasant conditions, though.
Love 15.
A little more sting on that second serve from Mannarino, trying to mix it up and just prevent Hurkacz from attacking. But this is a good game for Hurkacz to be a little bit more offensive on those second serve returns. The thing he's been working on to try and improve with that break of serve in hand, a little bit of a cushion for him to take a little more risk. One thing that will be nice for Hurkacz is compared to Perth, where players had to deal with a sun that was a nuisance when they're on the side that Mannarino's serving from. There's no problem here with that. Great serving conditions. Well done by Mannarino. Hurkacz will serve for the opening set here at 5-3.
Team Poland leads 5-3.
Mannarino trying to take that one early, but it's got such a heavy spin on it. Mishit it slightly. The ball drops short, and then how's the big forehand of Hurkacz to dispatch. It's his basic 1-2 play. Huge. 220 out wide to the backhand. Stepped on that one. And that's brought up 2 set points.
40-30.
Second set point is sealed with an ace by Hurkacz, and Team Poland take the opening set here in the first of the semi-finals, 6-3 in 36 minutes. Watch out. Well, there was a chance to drill one back through Mannarino there.
Love 15.
Not the greatest of shots, that one, Fitzy.
See, Jim and I, that never entered our heads.
Yes, it did.
No. It never entered our heads that we would try to get a bit of retribution.
I think you should speak for yourself.
Yeah. Fitzy would have been right on your chest.
You're painting a very ordinary picture.
It's because you're already a Van Gogh.
15 all.
As you just joining us, Adrian Mannarino had a backhand volley that he could have put anywhere in the court and drilled it at Hurkacz towards the end of that first set.
Couldn't play a better point, Hurkacz, than he did there. Start with the return of serve. Mannarino hits the wide serve that pushes you so far off the court. And if you hit the return too hard, then Mannarino's quick to redirect to the open court and you can't catch up to it. But Hurkacz hit a slow slice return, and that allowed him to get back into the middle and then patiently go to work. And work he did. 30 all. More trouble for Mannarino in the service game. The thing that the three of us know, but maybe the viewers at home don't know.
40-30.
Oftentimes when you get pulled out wide as a player, your best play is to hit a slower shot, either a slice or a looping shot that gives you time to get back into position. Because if you rip the ball back to your opponent and they get a good cut at it, they're just going to hit it to the open court for a winner.
Game, Team France. First game, second set.
It's interesting, the national noises of the people that support their team, isn't it? Team France here today with that sound we hear during Roland Garros, that can't really make it because I don't know how they do it. It's that it'll come up the oh sort of thing, and then the Aussies have the Aussie, oi, oi, oi going. I think the French has a little more flair to it, Fitzy.
Well, I think it sounds a little more exotic to us, doesn't it?
It's like the hat that you wear courtside.
You like that?
I do. Brings a touch of class.
Thank you.
I have to say this. American fans, we're the worst. All we have is USA.
There you go.
There's no creativity whatsoever. Not like Fitzy's hat. We need better songs. More musicality.
Seems his strategy, Hurkacz, is to just go there with his solid backhand across court, and maybe he feels that the forehand of Mannarino might break down a bit quicker. But when he presses the Frenchman, he goes back deeper in the court, and that's when Hurkacz has him.
Well done. I'm not sure that I like the last 2 points, though, for Hurkacz, allowing Mannarino to get into longer rallies and let him maneuver the ball around the court. I think eventually Mannarino will set up plays like this last point. You need to keep him off balance as much as possible.
That's where the first serve comes in handy for Hurkacz.
Like that there.
He missed his first serves the first 2 points of this game, and that gives Hubie pause because he's got to go to work then. Mannarino's going to make him play, but then he can just bring the thunder on the first serve and get a nice easy point.
40-15.
218. That was a lightning bolt.
220, his fastest of the day. Another ace to seal the game.
1 game off.
Interesting, he's serving faster here than he was in Perth. He was serving around about 202 on average over there, and his big one was 214, 216. He's already above that here. So conditions in the covered roof here at Ken Rosewall Arena helping the serve of Hurkacz. This court, of course, in stadium built for the Olympics in the year 2000, and I played a lot on this court and found it during the day to be one of the most difficult centre courts that you play on. It was very breezy. It had a way of drawing the wind in a circular fashion. It was hard to get a good strike on the ball. Come the evening, though, and it was lovely. It used to settle down. It was a very nice court to play on. Having put this roof on it has made a significant difference to the quality of the tennis. In a day session here, particularly in sort of the late afternoon when it could get a bit breezy in Sydney.
Yeah, it feels classier, sort of, doesn't it, too, with the roof on it? You feel like you're in a really beautiful sports arena.
And it builds atmosphere, doesn't it?
I think
that echoing noise that we can hear there now.
Yeah, I agree. We all enjoy that, I think, especially you, Todd. I mean, that adds another quiver to his bow, doesn't it?
Certainly does, and this is the sort of play that builds so much pressure on you when you're the server. And for Mannarino, who likes to massage his way into points, now he feels that he has to do a little bit more, and don't be surprised if you see an unforced error come here in the next 2 points.
By the way, how good was that volley? He ran through that and nailed that backhand volley. That was good stuff.
Here's a pressure point now. 15-32 serve for Mannarino. a real stress test. And he passes it beautifully. Controlled aggression from the Frenchman. Gets him back to 30 all.
It was interesting here. That forehand, as this next one coming, after the same swing, he generates a lot more pace. Caught Hurkacz by surprise. There's the pressure. Great point for Hurkacz.
Thank you. Players are ready.
Crafty serve that was. Just 148 kilometers an hour, but so much side spin, and it was so short in the court. Hurkacz tried to hit the deep slice return to buy time, but didn't quite center it on his racket. Great point dispatched by Team France.
Advantage, Team France.
You can't help but be impressed with Hurkacz's movement for such a big man. He's not breathing as hard as Adrian Mannarino here. What a good mover for a man of his size.
Well, that may have to do with the off-season and some of the training that he did in the Polish mountains, in the altitude. We talked about that in Perth, and it's paid dividends, getting away, doing something a little different, but working hard away from the court.
Warning, Team France.
And there's a warning for taking too much time between points for Mannarino.
I think if there's one minute criticism on the slice is that sometimes his racket head gets a bit too far away from his head. I mean, he's got such long limbs that the racket face was very low there, and he just didn't quite have enough control. It's a long way down there when he makes contact. I guess that's what happens when you get moved and stretched. Just lose your form a fraction.
from Mannarino as he manages to hold on serve. That was a big hold for him.
France leads 2 games to 1.
It is 2-1 second set, Team France. Positive changeover for Team France and Adrian Mannarino. Escaping that break point could prove pivotal. It's got an unusual habit at the change of ends. Hubert Hurkacz, he wraps the towel around his forearm quite tightly. I don't think there's anything significant to it. It's just something that he seems to do as a ritual. Trying to find that one out, perhaps. But so far today, he has not been troubled on serve. As he grabs the balls at 1-2, second set.
Love 15.
It's the right shot by Hurkacz. He just didn't get enough topspin on it to bring it down. Mannarino was streaking to cover the open court, and Hurkacz had something to say to the chair umpire afterwards, and we didn't catch it. Not sure exactly what his gripe was.
He enjoyed that, didn't he? There's the athleticism from the big man. Fitzy was saying how well he moves out wide, but he gets down nicely for this volley, Fitzy.
Yeah, he was made to play a very good point here. Mannarino thought he had him with the low bunt to his feet, and he came through. He's got some skill. Adrian was trying to make his move there, love 15, and he really did play a good point.
30-15.
Second point, but so far, Hurkacz keeping him at bay.
Well, that is such a strong response from love 15 from Hurkacz.
Yeah.
Mannarino has not put a foot wrong here. He's just been outplayed.
It's a great response, in fact. Easier at about an hour in when you've played at a high level to come off your own level and put a bit of pressure on, and Mannarino's lifted. You've had break point in the previous game. You kind of got to absorb that disappointment of not breaking. Psychologically, a big boost for Hurkacz there.
Big time. Hurkacz had a rock-solid year in 2023. He started the year number 10 in the world. He finished it number 9 in the world. But when he started his season down here at the United Cup and the Australian Open, he had a glaring weakness. His forehand was folding at crunch time. He could not put a forehand in court during tiebreakers, and it cost him dearly. Lost to Sebastian Korda in the 4th round of the Australian Open, and was just choking on that wing. And he has corrected that at the beginning of this season. It's been really good. Overall, looking really strong at the start of the season. One match he lost in Perth to Davidovich Fokina, the Spaniard, was because Alejandro played an amazing level, and he played a very different style. He drop shotted him. He brought him in with short slices and made it really awkward. He didn't allow Hurkacz the rhythm that he's getting today. He did a little bit what Alex de Minaur has been doing to tough opponents. De Minaur's drop shots, slice backhands, and net approaches have been a real feature of his success so far this season.
Wonderful redirection on that forehand from Mannarino. Lower percentage, but it pays off for him.
A lot more risk, isn't there, when you do that than go across court. It's the safer ball across court. It's an easy shot to hit with a lower net to go over. This takes real control to change the direction with an open face like that and control that ball. That's a dangerous point for Mannarino, on the verge of facing another break point, and he delivers a gem of a down-the-line backhand. And he hits the ball so flat, it is a net skimmer. That is a risky shot, and he delivered again when he needed it.
Yes, aggressive play from Mannarino, keeps himself in front in this second set. It's on serve, 3-2.
Team France leads 3-2.
que si tu prends un 15-30, et tu vois là sur ton jeu de service, tu as pris les longues lignes, un droit, un revers, tu y es allé, tu vois. Pour serrer les apports, tu as fait ta roulette là.
C'est bien d'avoir pensé lent, et rapidement, être intelligent, donc c'est à toi de bien sentir quand il faut le faire. L'idée est pas un peu de pour le faire. Donc quand tu joues ta gagne, quand tu sens du ballon ligne, s'il faut, tu restes solide, tu le fais jouer. À toi de bien sentir et de faire des variations comme tu as bien fait, des changements de rythme.
Well, this match just shaping up nicely now. It was a slower start for Mannarino. Lost an early serve, and that set got away from him quite quickly with Hurkacz serving brilliantly, but he's managed to hang in here and build a bit of pressure. Hurkacz has been up to the task, but now that he's serving first in this set and kept the lead, given the history between the two, we're in for a tight finish no matter what the scoreline. He played 4 times, tied 2-all. Mannarino winning the last one in Miami last year. All of them been on hard court. And quite a few tie breaks in those 4 encounters.
15 left.
Interestingly, on this particular surface in Australia, Mannarino defeated Hurkacz in the second round at the Australian Open in 2022 in straight sets.
That was a great win for Mannarino because Hurkacz has been a top 10 player for 3 straight seasons now.
Pressure building, but it was good recovery in that point from Hurkacz at full stretch on the forehand.
30 all.
There's that ball there, Jim.
Yeah, it's excellent tennis from Mannarino. Such skill. Can Mannarino get back to neutral in this rally somehow, some way? If a missed first serve comes into play, that'll go a long way towards that goal. Hurkacz can escape these moments easier than most with his serve. And does it again.
Team Francis requesting replay of the serve.
I think you might find it's solidly inside the lines. 223, that first serve, the biggest
40,
of the day. Seemed by quite a bit. So is that one too.
30 all, no problem. 2 big bombers and all tied up.
Life must be much less stressful with a serve like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
And frustrating for the poor guy down the other end. Save a moment for him.
More familiar with that feeling, Fitz.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'd like him to have to have played one match with my serve and see how he goes. It'll be a struggle.
Good luck.
15 love.
Might as well quit tennis and go play pickleball if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting to sense that little bit of anxiousness from Hurkacz here. Even though he got through that game brilliantly from 30-all, there's just some of the point structures are starting to favour Mannarino now.
Let's for serve.
Mannarino's game style is just so unique. It's so different to what players like Hurkacz face day in and day out. It can frustrate. I'd go so far as to say if Mannarino played a mirror image of himself, he'd get frustrated because he doesn't see anyone that plays like him either. This is hard because you're used to people taking big cuts of the ball, lots of spin on the ball. That's the modern game, blasting away from the baseline. And it's death by 1,000 cuts against Mannarino. You don't even realize you're bleeding out. Missed it. A lot of these close calls have gone Hurkacz's way. He's hit a lot of lines, but not this time.
Off his racket, that would have felt good. He got the racket head around the outside of the ball, just need a little more curve, and that misses by a couple of hairs, it would look like. To the naked eye, that looks in. Oh, beautifully played by Mannarino. Great feel and intuition. And Hurkacz is frustrated. Mannarino 4-3. Second set.
Team France leads 4 games to 3.
Well, the body language and demeanour changing from both ends of the court now, Jim. The reaction from Hurkacz when he loses this point was interesting.
He's still unchallenged on serve, but desperate to get that break of serve. That might help him close this thing out, but some amazing finesse from Mannarino. Keeps his nose in front in set 2.
What a clever little shot that was, just to keep himself in the point, and all the angles now come into play. So there's a little throw of the racket from Hurkacz at the end of that point, frustrated. And I think they talked about the anxiety, tension starting to build down that end of the court for Team Poland. Craig Boynton sort of up in a different position, trying to maintain the fact that he's played a very good match to this point, but has to maintain the levels.
Yep, you got to keep it positive. And say, look, he hasn't gotten to break point on your serve. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're in his service games, and that's a fact. But there is a lot more energy and smiles in the Team France zone at the end of that game. They're feeling better about the way things are going for sure. They've got a little bit of momentum, and they also recognize that they've put a little bit of frustration into Hurkacz's mind. Big game coming here. Mannarino takes 2 rackets down. Must be a new ball change coming, so he's ready for that. Doesn't have to make the big move back to get it all the way to the team zone. Change rackets for the new balls.
I think he's okay. He went over, but went with the fall on the ankle.
Yeah, he gives a thumbs up. That's a good sign. Just got stuck in the ground with his shoe there a little bit.
So we'll take a look at it here. Kind of, just there, almost goes over, but he recognises what's happening, and it's just better if you go with it.
Love 15.
Thumbs up, he says, I'm fine.
Good sportsmanship from Hurkacz, coming across the net just to double check.
15 all.
Pace count building nicely for Hurkacz. That's 11.
That number always is deceptive, I think, because that means there's a lot more unreturnables as well surrounding it.
Showtime fits in.
Yeah, hot dog.
30-15.
Front-facing tweener half volley from Mannarino here. And he landed it, but couldn't stick the backhand volley to follow. 30-15 for Hurkacz.
This is another good service game from Hurkacz. Lifting his intensity or keeping it high is probably the better way to describe it.
Both his team captain and his coach on their feet, pumping their fist at him after that point. So a lot of positive energy being sent his way from the team zone.
Now this is a game I would expect or really sort of hope from a Hurkacz perspective that he stays very positive. He's got new balls or relatively new balls that are going to come. That means he can get out after and build a bit more speed, push Mannarino through to the corners of the court, open up that next shot with his own forehand. And for Mannarino, he has to negate that. He has to not let that happen.
Love 15.
This was a very positive return of serve, wasn't it? It wasn't an outright winner, but it was in the court. It was aggression. Takes it to the corner as suggested. Draws an error. So love 15, pressure on Mannarino. But that's a let off.
15 all.
Here comes a bit more pressure. Good discipline from Hurkacz. And he saw that the backhand down the line had done damage, so he sneaks in behind it.
30.
And then he can also see Mannarino covering cross court. Well executed, well conceived. And now 15-30 at 4-all in the second set. These are tense moments for Team France.
And well played. Saw the winner's graphic pop up there before. It's
30 all.
You have to take into account that there's 11 aces in that. It's not necessarily coming off once the ball is in play. I'd like to see those two separated.
Oh, he was just a bit too aggressive, Hurkacz, trying to steal that point. And Mannarino, with his peripheral vision, able to see him coming in and hit the clean winner cross court.
40-30.
Gee, he did make him play a good shot, though, didn't he, Jim? And he was a long way back there, Mannarino. That was one heck of a pass. This second set feels on a knife edge.
Game, Team France.
And that's another hold that's huge for Mannarino. Raises the racket to the sky. He realizes it too. And he has 5-4. It's on serve, set number 2. Held serve comfortably so far throughout, but he's been pressed in this second set by Mannarino. The level has been raised, and we're now seeing some quality tennis here. In the first of the quarterfinals, sorry, I beg your pardon, the first of the semi-finals of the United Cup today. Team Poland taking on Team France. Then in the evening session here, it will be Team Australia to take on.
Thank you.
Team Australia to take on Team Germany. Here we go. Pressure times for Hurkacz.
Love 15.
Swinging pretty freely, Mannarino on that two-hander. It's the first point for the second consecutive Hurkacz game in a row, but this time he stayed on his feet. Remember last time he fell down, Hurkacz missed the next shot. But the concern was more about the health of Mannarino. Now it's all about opportunity. A second serve at love 15 for the Frenchman.
I think to Mannarino's credit there, he was trying to seize the moment to be aggressive, wasn't he? But when the second serve has that much bite and kick, gee, that's tough to control.
I think we're at the point in this set where Mannarino probably needs to guess where the first serve is going to give himself the best chance to win a point if Hurkacz makes a first serve. Because Hurkacz is winning about 9 out of 10 points when he makes his first serve. So that math would indicate it's worth taking a stab at a corner, pick the spot, cover the wide serve or the T serve, and give it your best shot.
Let's first serve.
Just reacting to a 210K serve is not getting it done for him. And that's no slight on him. That's just full respect to Hurkacz's power and precision today.
Two very different reactions from both ends of the court. A come on from Hurkacz and a bounce of the racket from Mannarino.
He had a split second to decide there, but I think taking that one out of the air might have been the play. Sort of wasted that good serve.
Let for serve.
What a point! Two let cords, great reflexes on the first one from Hurkacz. Here he is, he comes in, and this one clips the tape, pops up as they do when you get a let cord. Rack it in the right place. Then there's another one, catches the outside of the line, and he goes around the net post to hit the forehand winner. Sensational stuff. And so we're at 5-all.
Was that a live ball? And if it wasn't, we're still counting it as a live one, right?
Well, didn't hear, didn't see an out call. Looked good.
Love.
Todd, our friend and colleague Bob Carmichael would have been happy with that. There's value in the high lob.
Yeah, and if you're going to put the lob up, throw it as high as you possibly can, get yourself back into the point, and that's exactly what it did.
You could say that that lob was nails, boys.
Bob Carmichael's nickname, the nail bags. We're missing.
It's high-level tennis we're seeing here. This is some excellent reflexes happening and volley direction from both of these guys using this play. Go behind your opponent with the volley as they're streaking to cover the cross court, the obvious volley to the open court. Todd, you've been preaching that all week in Perth, that people should use the behind their opponent volley more often. We're seeing two magnificent examples of it out here this set.
Yeah, we're seeing wonderful sort of counter-action tennis, aren't we? Under pressure coming up in the next point with the goods to remain in it. This is wonderful tactical tennis from both ends of the court, both probing each other to try to find the weaknesses. But Mannarino cannot afford to make a mistake here. Oh, the racket's gone again.
There's a volcano just under there, isn't there?
Team Poland.
Is he going to change it? Did it to stay in one piece?
His vibration dampener popped out of it, and the ball kid at the net was able to retrieve it and get it back to him. So he's going to play on with that racket. But here's a real moment now. Hurkacz, this is a virtual match point the way he's been serving. Break point for Team Poland.
Oh, and he rips the winner. Hurkacz will serve for the match after the break. It's a set and 6-5 Team Poland.
Team Poland leads 6 games to 5.
What a sensational forehand that was on the break point from Hurkacz. He had built that little bit of pressure and he seized the moment there, Fitzy.
Well, he came up with one of his better forehands, didn't he? I mean, some of these sets, they just rest on a knife edge sometimes. They can go either way, and it's just who plays the bigger point or two better sometimes. And with this serve, it's such an advantage, you know, going out to start this. Everything's stacked against Adrian Mannarino. There's the great man. We were fortunate to have a chat with him this morning, Todd, you and I, Ken Rosewalt. Good to have him here. The stadium's named after him, and he played some of the biggest matches that we can remember.
So here it is, Hurkacz serving for the match for Team Poland. makes that first serve, which is made 60% of the time today. He's winning 85% of those points. In this set, he's winning 88%.
30 love.
Because you can't get serves like that back. 14th ace. Make it 15 and 3 match points to Team Poland. And what a way to serve it out. Hurkacz with the victory in straight sets over Mannarino. And what a weapon that serve is to come out and clean up a match in under a minute, Fitzy. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I don't know what that feels like, Todd, but yeah, no, it's impressive. But I thought that was an outstanding match, really. Both players there were awfully good, and